All right, guys, welcome back. We are going through our job tracking software here. And of course, we've got our nice little jobs layout set up. And then we've got our customer center here, I'm going to call it. Okay. So in setting up the customer center, we want to, well, first of all, we go to the jobs here and we've got this list of jobs. It would be kind of nice to have a list of customers as well. So let's go clean this up a little bit. We'll enter layout mode by hitting the enter or layout mode up there, or you can hit Control L and that'll bring you into layout mode. We don't need to see that primary key that was being used on the previous video. And that is something that does not need to be on the screen, even though FileMaker knows it's there. And let's go ahead and add that portal here. So I'm going to click on the portal tool here and then click and drag and create a portal. And then, oh, is on the other screen here. What it's going to want to do is we're going to pick the table that we're working from, and we do want to pick the customers table because we want to show a list of our customers here. We like the alternate row state and use active row state, and then I like to always show scroll bar. It just gives us a good idea of what we're looking at. And then for the customer here, let's put company name, and then maybe, I don't know, the contact information. So let's add that first name and last name. And those fields are automatically going to be populated. So there's a couple of things I want to do. I'm going to double click this portal and I'm actually going to make fewer rows. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to make these rows bigger so I can more easily fit more information here. And so we can have these two fields, contact first name, contact last name. And let's make this company name very large. And so remember, since we're using the portal here, or since we had these fields automatically populate in the portal, they automatically come over with field entry browse mode turned off. So when we click, we can look at how this looks right now. When we click in there, we're not actually editing any of the portal records. So that's good. So let me go back to edit layout here. And one of the things about a first name and last name is in this context, I don't need the first name and last name displayed separately. So John Johnson, Jim B. This just doesn't look very nice. It's kind of hard to understand. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make these text. I'm just sliding them out of the way right now. I probably will end up deleting those, but I'm going to get the text tool here. I'm going to click right here, and then I'm going to go to Insert Merge Field. Okay, and this is a little bit like a mail merge. But what we're going to be able to do is pick the fields that we want to show up as text fields. So let's just see what that looks like. It's easy to understand once you see it. I need to change the table. I need to select the customers table, and then I need contact first name. And then I'm going to hit a space, and then I'm going to insert merge field again and go to contact last name and click OK. And so now I've got these fields here in this. Well, they don't fit, but I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to go up to position, click that, and then I'm going to go to width. Let's see how wide our portal is. Our portal is 334 wide, and then minus about, I think that's about 25 pixels there. So let's make this 300 and then click out and see how wide that gets us. It's still going off onto the scroll bar a little bit. So let's try 290. Okay. And so I can see actually that this is not nested. Let me show you what happens. This is actually sitting above the portal. It's not inside the portal. It's not actually connected to the portal. So let me show you what happens in case that happens to you. You can see we get John Johnson there, and that looks great for John, but then all the others, there's no information. So what's going on is that if I go to the objects panel here on the left side, and again, if this is missing, if your screen looks like this, you can click this little guy up here, show and hide the objects pane, and that'll show this for you. And I can see that this contact first name is actually on the very top layer. This is, again, where your Illustrator skills really come in handy. What we want is, you can see that that company name edit box is actually nested within the portal. It's like part of the portal group. And we want the contact first name to be part of the portal group too. But I can't just drag it in there in FileMaker. There's no way for me to put it on that portal from the objects pane. So what I actually need to do is I need to, let's bring this back up to the top so I can select it. Let's grab this guy. I need to just take it totally off the portal and then bring it back onto the portal. And as soon as I do that, you're going to see, there we go. Now it's part of that portal group. And then when I hit exit and save, John Johnson, Jim B, Kathy Jones, and Hannah Smith. And that looks great too, because this is just a text field, not a field, but because it's a merge field, just as part of text here, it's formatting correctly and it's not adding a bunch of extra space in between. So I'm just going to clean this up a little more. I still think this could be even a little bit shorter, and look at what happened there. That's one of the things that kind of a pet peeve of mine about FileMaker is, if you start editing, it's going to try and make room for everything. And these field names are actually longer than most customer names that we deal with. So I'm going to have to go back here and figure out, I want that to be about 22 tall. So I'm just going to manually need to go set that height to 22. So 278 by 22 seems good to me. And then I'm just going to slide this over a little bit. Let's look at that. That's good. It just indents it a little bit, makes it a little easier to understand. And then something else I don't like is, I don't like how these fields are shown either. So I'm going to kind of go do the same thing. And I'm going to make another merge field up here, right here, insert, merge field, company name. Let's make this, if I hit this little button here, it's going to show me the formatting bar, and I can make this bold. And, or another way to do it is to go to the appearance and then scroll down, and you can see there's the bold as well. And so make sure this is plenty large enough to fit the company name in there, company name, contact first name. And let's see how that looks. Save. That looks pretty nice, I think. And so if I had a ton of customers here, I'd be able to scroll up and down and find the customer that I'm looking for. So I think we've got a nice portal here. Now, something else that would be super nice is if we could actually see the jobs that the customer has by just clicking on the customer name. So we can do that with a portal as well. So I've got my portal tool again, and let's make a nice big portal down here. And let's set this table to jobs. And because, again, we have everything we want to see there, that's fine. Again, since we have that relationship built already, we don't really need to do much here other than just put the fields in. So let's add probably the first thing would be artwork front. I think since we're, especially if we're in the graphics industries, we're visual people, so we want to see that thumbnail right on there. Maybe artwork back. And then let's go with job number, due date. I'm not going to put the description because it's just a lot more information than we need. And then let's go with status. So at a glance, we can see all the customers' jobs and all their statuses. Let's click OK. And so we've got that information. And before we change anything, let's just go to edit layout, exit layout, sorry, and save that. And let's just see how that looks. So does John have any orders? No. Does Jim? Yes. There's Jim's order. Kathy doesn't, and Hannah doesn't. So why am I only seeing one order here? Is it just because I know we have two jobs? Yep, this job doesn't have a customer selected. So let's go back to customers here. And now I can see when I go to Jim's Bagels, let's go back just for sake of, let's put these both under Jim and then go back to customers. When I go to Jim's Bagels, I can see multiple jobs there. And these are editable fields, so we want to be careful. Let's fix that. First of all, this isn't probably where we want to be changing this information. So I've just shift selected all of these. Let's go to the data tab here, and then let's go down to under behavior, unselect browse. We've done that a lot. You guys should be used to that by now. So let's just double check that. Yep. And that's good. And if Jim had 1,000 jobs listed here, we'd be able to scroll through and find all those jobs. So I think this has given us a nice setup so far, and we don't have a lot of navigation or search tools. So I think that's what we're going to get into next. But this is, if you have, probably less than 100 customers and you do a couple of hundred jobs a year, this would be a very useful tool for you to use just as it is. And you could really get into FileMaker this way. But let's make it a little more useful. I'm excited to see the next steps.